No, no, la polizia, no.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I unfortunately lost $5,030 today trading gold live on stream on YouTube. Now today's trade was absolutely insane. The market did not go in our favor at all. As well as that, there were some things that I could have done better to manage the trade and actually minimize my losses that I did not do, and so I'm going to show you exactly what those are throughout the video. However, with that being said, the setup that I took was completely valid, and I would take the exact same trade again tomorrow if it presented itself. So first of all, I'm going to show you the trade setup and why I executed the trade at the time that I did. And then I'm going to show you what I could have done better to minimize my losses and what you guys can do better to minimize your losses when you're in drawdown in the future. This video is going to be extremely valuable, so make sure you stick around. As well as that, I do have a $1,500,000 funding giveaway going on at the minute. I'm going to show you the details on how to enter that towards the end of the video, so stick around and don't miss out. But without further ado, let's jump onto the charts and I'll show you the trade that I took. So first of all, I want to show you exactly what the position is, and then I'm going to jump in and do a full breakdown of what I was seeing and the analysis that I had before I took the position. So we actually took gold buys right here, and as you can see, it just ended up going a little bit against us, leading to a position hitting our stop loss right there. Now from the top, essentially what I saw was we have a weekly time frame here on gold. Bearing in mind it's only Tuesday, and we've come down and broke all the previous lows here, grabbing a lot of liquidity, and this candle still has no top wick, so 80 to 90% of the time this candle is going to flip up at some point. As well as that, despite yesterday's candle closing bearish, we actually did close respecting some very important levels here. We closed respecting the previous daily levels. So for me, this was an indication that I did believe we were going to continue upwards. And yeah, realistically, we were right on the direction for the day, but we just so happened that we didn't catch the right position at the time. Now the 4-hour time frame as well, at the time of taking the position, had actually closed bullish like this. So we were essentially looking good to continue up. We had a lot of room to move up towards the top of this range. And if we drop down to the 1-hour time frame as well, I'm going to show you exactly what I saw at the time. So we took the position around 9 o'clock here UK time. So it looked a little something like this at the time of taking the position. Now, I actually took the position on the 30-minute, and I took it right here after this candle closed bullish. So if I just select the bar here, so this is exactly what the market looked like. As that candle closed, we got into a position, and I'm going to show you why that is. So realistically right there, what we had is obviously consistent higher highs and higher lows being made, aka bullish structure continuing upwards. Now, after we made this low here and closed bullish, for me, that's a continuation symbol to come up and make another high here before continuing further upwards. No reason that we should continue down after grabbing liquidity, breaking the previous candle low, and closing like that. Additionally, we had closed above some levels here that were very important. So we closed above this level right here. And obviously, every single time that we have closed above that level, we actually had room all the way up until at least, I believe it was this level here at 71. Yeah, exactly. Around 71, if not 69, 70-ish, every time we've closed above this level here had been tapped. So in my opinion, we had very, very clean range coming up to the upside. Now, if you've traded with me for a while, you'll know that this is my Sky Dweller setup right here. So also we closed above the most recent high. Essentially now you have a fake out here closing back below the level and back above. And once you get a bullish closure like this, after a pullback in the trend, that is the Sky Dweller setup. So all I did here was wait for the next, All I did here was wait for the next candle to come and make a bottom wick, which it did. It made a small bottom wick. After that candle made a bottom wick and flipped, I was actually entered into the position on a buy stop, targeting the top of this range. And for stops, instead of placing them below this level, which I'm going to get to in a little bit, was potentially a mistake that I made, I actually placed it below this previous 30 low, expecting us to respect these wicks here to the left, because if you respect those and if you break those, you are most likely going to continue downwards. Now, as you can see, obviously we saw a little bit of profit here. I saw around sort of like 15 pips around that area. And I didn't actually have time to go break even. It was an extremely fast push upwards and then a push straight back down. So yeah, unfortunately did not have the time to go break even on that position. But yeah, what happened is obviously now on the 5-minute, I can show you better. We ended up just slowly trailing down. Now at this point right here, this is where I potentially should have realized, okay, something's wrong, because we closed below this low right here on the 5-minute. And now what do you have on the lower time frame? You have a market structure shift here, making a lower low, which should lead to bearish structure continuing down. And my analysis told me that the higher time frame would take over, as it always does, but we know that the higher time frame is a stronger confirmation than the lower time frame. So I wasn't too worried about that right there. And then actually we did get some form of a saving grace right here. We actually had a 30-minute that came and actually decided to close respecting and bullish right here. Sorry, a 15-minute closing, respecting the low and also bullish. So what I actually did was I took the exact same SkyDollar entry for another buy position right here once this candle flipped. But now, as you can see, what happened was we did start to push up. We actually made a bottom wick on the 30-minute. If I drop to the lower time frames, we made a bottom wick on the 30-minute right here and began to push up. And I was like, okay, cool. We were coming close to my average entry. And if in true honesty, I would have closed full at my average entry, which is around this area here. But as you can see, before that happened, and I'll include a clip of it as well, before that happened, we actually saw a crazy volume spike to the downside. Yo, what the fuck was that volume, bro? What was that volume? Holy shit. This 1-minute candle right here just decided to absolutely rip down 50 pips, take us out before rejecting. However, after that, we still did not come towards the average entry and we actually continued all the way down. So that was the position. It was taken live on stream for a $5,030 loss. Now, essentially, that was a 1% loss. So nothing crazy at all, nothing out of the ordinary. Risk was extremely well managed. So that is something that I would say was very well done by us. You know, even with the second position, I knew that I had some risk left on the table to play with. And that's why I was comfortable with stacking that extra position, because essentially, if it would have put me in an over risk situation where I was risking 2% or more, yeah, okay, cool. I didn't take the position. But in this case, I knew that if I hit stops on the first position, it was going to do me for around 0.7%. So with the second position, we stacked another 0.3% risk on that, bringing the total risk on that trade to 1% risk for $5,000. Now, this trade was taken on my live PA Apex accounts. As you could see in the video, yeah, taken on the live PA. So it is technically a live loss right there. Something that I would say here as well is we actually did come very close to my actual break-even level right here. You can see the highest point that I saw throughout the trade was actually right here. After we took that second position, we came close to my overall break-even level, which is this blue line right here. Now, you might be tempted to say to yourself, yeah, if I close right here, I only would have lost 0.3% or I would have lost way less. But I just want to make sure you understand you're never going to get the absolute perfect closure. You're never going to get that, absolute perfect exit to minimize your drawdown. So if you find yourself taking a loss and you say to yourself, okay, you know what, if I would have closed here, I can't believe it. I should have closed there because, I would have only lost a certain amount. Just stop yourself from doing that, because during the position, first of all, for me, this looked like we were going to continue up towards the top of the range anyway. And we looked like we could have closed out in actual some profits, especially with the way this candle started to close here. So there was no reason for me to close at all based off of market structure or the price action. So yeah, just make sure you don't say that to yourself, because in hindsight, yeah, first of all, I could have not taken the trade, right? And in hindsight, I could have closed at the perfect point. In hindsight, I could have done anything. But remember, when you're in the trade, you make a decision for a reason, so don't beat yourself up about it. Now, before I get onto the emotional sides of this loss, I want to quickly remind you that I am doing a $1,500,000 funding giveaway with Apex Trader Funding. So all you have to do to enter that is buy an account with Apex Trader Funding using code TRLS, and you're going to get 80% off your accounts. But not only that, you're going to be entered into my massive giveaway, which is going to basically mean no matter what size account you buy, you're going to massively increase your ROI by essentially being in with the chance of receiving 1.5 million in funding, which by the way is completely life-changing. If you manage to pass $1.5 million in funding, 1% then is $15,000. So imagine making a 1% trade and making $15,000. That's absolutely insane. So yeah, make sure you go to Apex Trader Funding, link in the description, using code TRLS. Not only are you going to get 80% off your account, but you're also going to be in with a chance of winning $1.5 million in funding, which is personally the biggest futures giveaway I've ever seen. But anyway, moving on, I do want to quickly talk about the psychological aspects of this loss, because for me, with the trading drawdown and the fact that I was actually very close to a payout with my Apex accounts, this loss took a relatively large impact on my psychology. You know, I actually ended up going into a bit of tilt, actually, to be completely transparent with you guys. I ended up trading a little bit afterwards. Fortunately, I quickly shut it off after a couple of trades and ended up at the same balance as I would have done if I didn't take those trades, which was actually lucky. You know, when you go on tilt, realistically, there's a large potential for you to either blow your accounts or do some serious damage to them. So luckily, I did not do that. But yeah, honestly, the most important thing you can ever do after taking a loss is take a step away from the charts. Now, today I actually did that. I went to the gym and came back after the loss and saw another position, and I was like, okay, let's take it. Realistically, I should have called it a day because I knew my psychology wasn't there. So that's another thing that you guys need to remember, is if you're feeling like your psychology might not be there, if you're feeling like you're in a situation where, you know, you are not 100% mentally there to trade, just take a step away, because I could have done some serious damage to my accounts today. It happens to the best of us, and that's why I'm being completely transparent with you guys. I think a lot of the times people see mentors like me who are, you know, pretty much consistently trading well, profitably trading, and, you know, seem to be consistently disciplined infinitely. And I'm here to tell you that obviously even traders like me have bad days, and we have days where the psychology is not quite there. You know, today I went on tilt a little bit, placed 2 or 3 more trades than I should have done. Luckily, I did not do any damage and was able to cut myself off and sort of snap out of it before any serious damage was done. But yeah, honestly, the most important thing, call it a day after you take a loss. Honestly, it's the most important thing you can do, because then at that point you are literally eliminating any potential for you to emotionally trade or go on tilt or blow your accounts for stupid reasons. So yeah, it's not just a rule to essentially for the sake of it. It's a rule that I have for a reason. And it's a rule that allows me to consistently trade profitably, and I have never ever blown an account, a live account, because of that rule, right? So essentially, that's one of the most important things for me to say, and if you learn any lesson from this video, that should be the one. But yeah, guys, other than that, that was the trade recap. Hopefully you can get some insights into why I took the position, what I could have done better during the position, i.e. managing risk. But also remember the fact that the trade that I took in the beginning was completely valid and completely to my playbook. I would take the exact same trade tomorrow. So if this trade does print tomorrow, I will be taking it because I know that statistically this model is profitable. So if you do take a loss off one model, don't then the next day not take the same trade, because you should understand that your model is profitable over time. The statistics show that, and therefore there's no reason for you to not trade it just because you've taken one loss on it. As well as that, remember, your favorite guru, your favorite mentor, me, myself, we are not invulnerable to psychological issues. It happens to the best of us. The main thing that you can do if you're facing these psychological issues is mitigate your downside by either stepping away from the charts, dropping your risk, or better off, to be honest, not trading at all. But that has been the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Much love to you all. I appreciate you all very, very much. Make sure you enter the funding giveaway. And other than that, guys, I appreciate you all. Drop a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.